G'day, Bomber fans. Well, this one came out of absolutely nowhere. A big shock. Jake Kelly has retired from AFL footy. He played his last game against the Brisbane Lions. He was expected to be given a new contract, but it appears that won't be the case anymore. The 29-year-old has called it quits to focus on life outside of footy. Pursuing work outside of footy was the quote that was used. This is a really interesting one, and one that's come at a very unfortunate time for the team. I know he was an unpopular player amongst the fan base, but I think he was required for next season at least, and now it throws our backline into a bit of a mess with other players leaving and the ongoing injury issues that we still have. This is a lot bigger than I think we realise, and it'll force us to get a bit creative with our list, so let's talk about it. Jake Kelly has retired. What does this mean for the Bombers? Alright, so Tom Morris broke the news on Twitter. Jake Kelly retired from footy yesterday. He informed his teammates of the decision. It's to focus on work and life away from the game. It's a bit of a shock given that he's still only 29, a young age to be retiring for someone who's had a fairly good run at it with his body. Kelly was taken by the Adelaide Crows with pick 40 in the 2014 rookie draft. He was quick to find his place in the team, making his debut in 2015. Injuries crawled him for a year and a bit, but in 2017 he was a solidified member of that back six, playing 24 games in their grand final charge season. He would remain a first-team player down back for the Crows before moving to the Bombers ahead of the 2022 season. We needed a lockdown defender. He wanted to move back to Victoria. It just made sense, and he was good for us early. He came 7th in our 2022 Crichton medal, but unfortunately his good form would halt a tad with some injuries in 2023 and a shift in role under Scott, which saw him play wing minutes, which was not the vibe for us fans. At his best, he was genuinely a game changer, and he showed that in 2024 at times as well. He kept players like Toby Green and Bobby Hill in his pocket at times, shutting out their impact. He retires after 168 games, 58 of which were at Essendon. He was genuinely a really solid defender whose time at Essendon was a bit polarising. He always gave everything he had on field. You got to respect that. He was known as the Bull for a reason. He was tough, he didn't like to lose, and he played any role he was asked to, but we will remember him as a lockdown defender. It was a genuine treat seeing him get in the heads of some of those best small forwards in the comp. He was definitely a player that was better used under Rutten when he was brought into the club. Under Scott, unfortunately, his place in our system was a bit harder to read and he was lost a tad. So what does this unfortunate retirement mean for our team next year? Well, let's look at our list. On screen right now is I have all the general defenders. Because this zone has really dwindled down in the last couple of weeks. It was seen as a strength at one point and bright for the future with the inclusion of Roberts, but now I think we have some real issues. It's why I and many thought Kelly had to be on our list next season, because we have already lost Dyson Heppel and Tex Wanganeen and Kane Baldwin. Kelly is the third general defender and fourth defender out the door already, meaning now, as you can see, we only really have 5 or 6 if you include Saad El Houli in our general defensive line. But even El Houli is more of a wingman in my opinion, and that's the thing that happens now is now what Essendon could be forced to do is play guys in roles that they're not best suited for, which could halt development or, I guess, take away from the team. I love Nick Martin on a wing, but can you really justify playing him there for full minutes if these guys are the only other defenders that we have on the team? Let's say we line up next year with McGrath, Redmond, and a combo of Roberts and Martin switching from flank to wing, because I can see that happening. As soon as one of those guys gets injured, what do we do as a team? I like the look of El Houli, but he's only played a handful of VFL games for us. He cannot be the first backup option, and even if he is, as soon as a second injury hits, we're down to the end with Luman Lawal, who is not even close to being able to play AFL footy yet. That is why Kelly really needed to stay on, but we can't be mad at Kelly. If he no longer has the passion for the game, he has to go. I'd rather us be forced to make on-the-run list decisions than play with a guy whose heart is no longer in it. This does create a good little discussion, though, whether or not we need to trade in a player of this role to help with our depth or even improve our team. We haven't really been in the running for Harry Perryman. Does this force us to try and act and improve our best 22, or do we stick with the main starting defenders that we currently have and add someone like Riley Bonner for depth? I think whatever we do, we need some coverage back there and leadership. I haven't even mentioned that yet, but Heppel and Kelly take away a good 400 games of experience, and you can't really replace that with a draftee. And we have new draftees anyway. Roberts and Lawal were both taken last year. El Houli is a bit older, but still a mid-season draftee. I'm interested to see how the club decides to cover for these losses for Heppel and Kelly. I know they trialled Davey Jr. back there last season before Nick Martin. They obviously moved Tex Wanganeen to defence before his delisting to try and give us more options. So it's clearly an issue they see needing a bit of a fix. Is there anyone on our list that I could see playing down back? Maybe Dylan Shield, to be honest, a bit of that Dane Zorko role, just because he's getting less attention for a trade, so he'll probably be on our list. I don't know, maybe Will Setterfield for a pure defensive role, but from there, you're clutching at straws a bit. It really does make the fact we haven't been going for Perryman bloody annoying, though. I hope it's not too late, because that has become even more of a no-brainer for me. And after that, it's guys like Riley Bonner, Alex Sexton, Jermaine Jones, Alex Witherden, real discount options that wouldn't do a lot in the long run, but would provide depth. I hope it doesn't come down to that, but we may be forced to get the scraps after this. And what does it mean for that extra list spot that is now opened up? Because Kelly retiring means we can probably keep one more player on screen of the guys out of contract still. Stringer is not included because he has that ongoing contract standoff for an extension on that existing deal, which sees him locked up till next year through a games played clause. Now, Harry Jones is in a similar boat. I don't know what the hold-up is, maybe negotiating a further extension, but he has met a games played clause, I believe. So Davey, Wiedemann, and Setterfield. What happens with these guys? I personally would have delisted all three before the Kelly news, but now there is a chance for a second wind, especially if we are active in the trade period as well, with guys like Stringer, Laverty, Hobbs, and Sartas all being linked to moves away. It raises the question, and I know you guys are going to unsubscribe here. I don't want to say, I don't want him to stay at the club, but do we need Sam Wiedemann for depth? Our backstops are super thin right now. We're linked to no one at the moment. I mean no one. We may be forced to keep Sam Wiedemann on our list solely because we have no other options. I don't know. I think it's clearly meant that if anything happens with Wiedemann, it'll be after the trade period. Hopefully we bring in some defensive coverage to allow us to delist him and improve on our playing squad. But this retirement has made it a lot harder to do so. Alright, well that is that. A quick video today just highlighting the retirement and a few other little things. Cheers, Jake, for everything. You were a joy to watch at your best. I've always loved those no-nonsense lockdown defenders who just come out and bully their opponents. And, well, Kelly retires with a bunch of the best small forwards still locked up inside his pocket. Hopefully he finds success elsewhere in life now that he gets to live it without footy as a 24/7 job. And cheers for watching, you guys. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, go Bombers.